on board. And that word from our governor is that he will not allow us to send the ships back. So Samuel Adams, he gives a cue. He states, "It seems there is nothing more a meeting can do to save this country." And then all of a sudden, men from all around the room, they rise to their feet. They storm out the doors. And then we hear it. Boston Harbor, teapot tonight. So if you're angry, if you're ready to destroy some tea, I want you to storm down that gangway and make Boston Harbor a teapot tonight. Godspeed, my friends. Huzzah!
Hello.
Dangerous this time of night. Are you sure you're not here for any particular reason? Oh, destroy some tea? Well, why didn't you say so? My goodness, you had me so worried. Goodness. Well, this is the Eleanor. There are 114 chests of tea aboard, and we can certainly use your help, so you can go ahead and board.
Hello, how are you? Hello.
Doing well, how are you?
I'm fine,
Thank you very much for joining us. You can follow me right here. So you are all on board for committing treason now. So, wonderful. Do you know what happens if you are caught committing treason, friends? It's rather sad. Death by hanging. Did I hear hanging? Yes, death by hanging. It's rather. We should avoid that. We have our disguises, which cover your faces. That's brilliant thinking. And then, of course, our oaths of secrecy. All participants are to take one this evening to ensure we don't disclose each other's identities, that we saw each other this night. So you could raise your right hand. Take it very seriously. I never saw you and you were never here.
I never saw you and you're never here.
Wonderful, that covers it. You can follow me right this way, friends. Excellent job. We do have some threats literally on the horizon this evening. We have 3 enemy ships. Oh, you can't see them, it's very dark. But the Captain Active and the Kingfisher are redcoat vessels. If we did attempt to leave port with these ships, we'd be shot at with cannons. So we should avoid that at all costs. Of course, they do only take orders from Governor Thomas Hutchinson, who I'm sure you know is currently in his country home of Milton, Massachusetts. So we have nothing to worry about, folks. Follow me right this way. Again, as Mrs. Wheeler said, we have 114 chests of tea upon the Eleanor alone, and we have a couple right here.
Okay,
so please, folks, have at it. We must get rid of them. These do weigh about 45 pounds.
Wow.
Very strong.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure you can throw them right overboard.
Am I allowed to take
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a little instant portrait, absolutely. Please, friends, over the
Go ahead, I got
strong and deep well. Oh, very well done. Huzzah!
Yes.
Well done.
You can hold it for me. Just hold it on, it says you sent. Yeah, just straight like that, yeah.
Please, my friend.
Spit in the eye of tyranny and toss that over.
Give it a good toss.
Well done.
Excellent. Wow.
Oh, yes, please. We'd like to hold that right there.
Yeah, right?
Thank you very much, folks. And the tide is extremely low this evening, and just on the Eleanor alone, we're throwing over 30,000 pounds of tea, so we have to send
Oh, I cannot do it with one hand.
Oh, sir, I can get that if you'd like.
Oh, sure.
Would you like oh, thank you very much, sir. Would you like a tour below deck this evening, folks?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you can actually wrap around to that staircase. I can get this, sir. No
Okay,
worries.
thank you.
If you'd like to wrap around to that staircase there, Mrs. Young, we need you to split it.
Okay, thank you. Take it
So we could get as much product in here as possible. And these stairs would have been completely in the way because both the captain and first mate and the crew have their own ladders and hatches to get to the deck. And they would have to use this cargo bay to lower all the goods down in and move them into place. But the cargo is easily spotted. The stuff we're after was all at the bottom, so we had to offload everything else first. All the tea is wrapped in this canvas lining, or wrapping that says, it has the merchant's mark or chop of the United East India Company upon it, UEIC. That V is a Latinate style U, because they're pretentious. And on top of that is some hemp rope, a common export of ours, and on top of this is some barrels of salt cod. The Eleanor had a lot of salt cod and lumber on board, 2 of Massachusetts Bay Colony's main exports. And this particular lumber and salt cod were being brought down to Antigua every year to supply the sugar plantations down there and feed the enslaved population that worked them. Salt cod was a common very low-priced food stuff that was commonly given to laborers and enslaved populations. So, yay. Very, very delicious and certainly what everyone wants to be eating, but it was one of our biggest exports. And there we would the crew would take on a bunch of the sugar that was grown there and bring it back up to England, where it was made into molasses, and then we would make rum out of that. Boston is a major rum manufacturing also. Yes. But if you want to see more about the daily living of this vessel, you can go over here and take a look at the quarters of the captain, Captain James Bruce, and off to the left is the quarters of his son, James Bruce Jr., the first mate.
Thank you.
You have a question?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I have a question. So where was this tea mainly grown in?
China. This is all tea from. There's 5 kinds of tea, but it was from one plant. Just 5 different preparations of that plant.
Okay.
There was 3 green, 3 black and 2 green teas.
Yeah. All right.
And they were getting mostly India. They mostly were getting cloth and spices and other things from India, not tea yet. We wouldn't discover Indian tea for some time.
Oh.
Because all the tea was from China, all from one specific plant. But if you want to contrast where of course, if you want to contrast the living quarters of the captain and first mate with how everyone else on board lived, so the captain's quarters are bright and airy and very comfortable.
Yeah.
Whereas the first mate right here, which, as I said, was his son, James Bruce Jr., it's very kind of dark and dank. If you go and look in here, you can see it's like a closet. But the first mate still had his own room, his own bed, and he had privacy and quiet. There's more that you could say for the rest of the crew. If you want to follow me.
Yeah, I am. Please. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Wow.
This is where the rest of the crew would stay, and as I said, the crew is about 8 to 10 men.
Okay.
And of course, this is the forecastle or forecastle, where they would sleep, eat, use the restroom, as it were.
Really?
So
That's so
not a very
tiny.
comfortable life. Yes, that was their privy, their chamber pot, and they would just throw that overboard. It was either that or they'd go off the side. But, so this is where they would spend all their leisure time. But this is a lot less horrible when you realize there were only 4 people down here at a time, and they took breaks of 4-hour shifts. So there would always have to be some people working in deck. We would not be saying otherwise, but so yeah, it's pretty tight quarters and not very luxurious by any means, but you got to see the world, and it was a job that offered at least the security of knowing that you would be fed every day and you would gain skills and have comrades, and that was a lot for some people, and many men wanted perhaps hadn't been taught a trade, hadn't had like the best advantages in life. This was a good way for them to make their way in the world and also have a lot more adventure than the average person. So if you have any more questions, I'll leave you upstairs.
Not at all.
I'll answer any more questions you have.
No, I don't have any more. I am.
That's from. Are you local?
Oh yes, oh wonderful, my friend. Oh, well done, Fox. Thank you for joining us.
But if you're ready to move on,
If you want to explore the quarter deck, you can go up this way.
Okay. Okay. Oh, look at the captain's wheel. Think of the captain. Captain wheel is down here. Oh, nice.
And then this here is the kitchen or the galley. So this is the only safe place on board to have a fire. And it's where the food is cooked. And our sailors eat a lot of well-salted beef and pork, fish. They also have porridge with currants and raisins. They would have some fresh produce, some fresh cheese, but that tends to churn the quickest without being eaten often.
that's the captain's wheel.
Yes, sir. So this would be the quarterdeck. Up here is where navigation
Yep.
mainly takes place, and that hatch that just in front of the captain's wheel that leads to the aft cabin where you saw Captain James Bruce.
Okay.
So that is almost solely reserved for the captain and first mate. This is where they take care of navigation, all that. But yes.
Nice. So, what is the fastest that this thing go all the way to England and back?
Absolutely. It would usually be a 4 to 6 week journey to London, and then about a 6 to 8 weeks journey to return. And that's only on average as well. It can be longer than that, but that's typically the travel time.
Yeah. Okay. So
So each week right this way, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
thank you.
Make a left here, leave a message.
Probably another night. It is Boston.
Hey, guys.
Hello,
Morning.
sir.
Hello.
I'm going to take a look over here. This is some of the cargo that would have been on board the Eleanor when it arrived here
Okay.
in early December 1773. So we have some lemons from Spain. Of course, we can't grow lemons here. We can't grow anything.
Yeah,
So everything has to be imported. We also have Madeira wine from Spain.
Okay.
This is John Hancock's favorite. So if you ever want to impress him, I would suggest bringing some over to his party.
He should be here.
And we have some porcelain from India. There, it's a 6-month journey to get to London, and then about a month journey to get to the colonies. Now everything has to go to London first. They can't just ship anything right from India or from Spain or Portugal. Everything has to go to London first, and then they'll decide where it goes. So of course they
I
really have
see.
really hanging over our heads like
Back in
main
London.
processing center. Well, really,
Yeah.
Boston is that processing center.
Okay.
That all the surrounding villages and towns will send their goods here.
Okay.
And it's these wharves about us
Yeah.
where things are stored in warehouses, sorted, gathered, their prices measured and weighed. That Boston is essentially a living, breathing town of commerce.
I see. All right.
It's the backbone of our economy. We could not make it
It's
without
the
our
father.
ships.
It is where everything started in England. So.
We have been the leaders in many ways. So is Virginia. Virginia is a preeminent colony.
Yes.
They are the first, the largest, and the most populous. But things tend to move faster here in Boston.
Yeah.
And other colonies sometimes look at us a bit askance. They think that we're rather radical here and mostly try to leave us to ourselves. But perhaps at some point they will support us in our endeavors.
That's,
What was our agriculture like compared to the southern states?
yeah.
It is quite different because we have a very different climate, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
We're not growing any cash crops. So that is the biggest difference. So whereas in the south you'll have rice and indigo and tobacco, here we're mostly farming for subsistence.
Okay.
Maybe some things like wheat, a few export crops, not many. That most of our farming is for ourselves. We have a short growing season and not always the best soil for those sorts of things.
All right.
But our real exports, as Mr. Lincoln said, lumber, salted fish. We fish a lot more than we farm.
I love fish.
Cod is a favorite.
yes.
Yes. Have you ever had codfish?
I think so. Yeah, I did probably.
Well, you have to have some while you're here in Boston. We've got it in plenty.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much. So I shall continue this way?
Yes, indeed. Catch your breath out here on Griffin's Wharf, and when you're ready, they'll be ready to receive you over on board the Beaver.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Brendan.
Hello.
You're here for the tea destruction.
Yes, I'm here for the tea
Yes, all right.
destruction.
I am glad to hear it. We're running a little bit behind schedule on this vessel, so we can use all the help that we can get. Tell me, have you already been on one of the other ships?
Yes, I did.
You have? All right, excellent, excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I don't at all mean to belittle your hard work you did over there, but you got it a little easy, I'm going to say. These
Okay.
ships have been here for about 2 weeks at this point. They've had time to offload most of their other cargo already. You probably didn't have to spend any time sorting through any of the other cargo to get to the tea, did
no,
you?
No, I did not.
No, yeah. This one's a little bit different. This vessel just got in yesterday. All of its cargo's still on board. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. Let's get you safely back through Griffin's Wharf right this way. Don't tell anyone you were here, all right? Now, see, the difficulty this ship coming back just yesterday means that there's still a lot of cargo on board to get through. This vessel was actually supposed to get in a little bit earlier, but then one of the crew members fell sick, actually. His symptoms were not dissimilar to that of smallpox, so the entire vessel had to go under quarantine. I'm sure you can't imagine what that's like, but, luckily, it does seem to have been a false alarm. Just to be sure, though, they monitored the crew for about 8 days. They scrubbed down the decks. They smoked out the cargo, so it's probably fine health-wise. The difficulty we run into now is when they put the cargo back in. They put in the tea, and then they put everything else on top of it. So just getting to the tea is going to require so much more work now. Even though there are 2 less chests of tea in this one, it's going to be a lot harder. We're hoping the captain will let the crew help us sort through some of these things, but, until that happens, you're all we've got. So I hope you're ready for some more work.
I am.
All right, let's get you on board.
Thank you.
Right this way. Mrs. Story, we've got some help coming.
Excellent. Welcome
Woo!
aboard.
Let's rock this.
Now, Mr. Davis and I actually took the liberty of hauling up a few of these tea chests for you, what we could.
How nice.
So feel free to grab a tea chest, toss it overboard if you are moved to do so. All right, I'll count you off. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, over the side! Huzzah! Excellent! Well done!
This one's empty?
Yes, go ahead if you want. 1, 2, 3, haul it overboard! Huzzah! Excellent! Woo!
Clear through all of them.
All right.
Easy enough.
Well, now comes the hard part, bringing them back up for the next person.
I will.
It's a crucial part of the tea destruction process.
Welcome, friends. Welcome. Are you here for the tea destruction? Yes. Yes. Why don't you come along this way? Thank you. Needing all the help we can get. We're actually running a little bit this vessel right here.
That's 3 down, 109 left.
Unlike some of the other ones, have you been on some of the other ships already?
But you've got 3.5 hours.
Right, excellent. I'm glad to hear you all did a lot of hard work, and I don't need to belittle that, but you did have it a little bit. Those ships over there, they
Now you are more than welcome to explore about the vessel. I will say there are a few differences between this ship and the others. I'll leave you to figure them out, but I will give you the hits.
Okay.
The biggest difference is the most glaring ones lie within the aft cabin here and atop the quarterdeck.
So that's closed. There's no.
I'm sorry?
That's closed.
Yes, we cannot go on there. You're
Okay.
welcome to take a peek.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a peek. Definitely.
Yes, that is Captain Hezekiah Coffin's private cabin.
Okay.
Now, you saw what Captain Bruce had in his space, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Very big, a lot of nice furniture.
Yeah.
But with this one, Captain Coffin's a Quaker, and Quakers don't exactly believe in a lot of flashy things, expensive things. They believe more in meagerness, modesty, the bare minimum, bare necessities. So Captain Coffin has everything that he may need in there, nothing more, nothing less.
So it's there's nothing fancy. It's just a.
Nothing fancy, just what he needs.
Okay. Wow.
It's a lot easier to learn history as you're making it.
That's very true.
Mrs. Story,
Okay.
we're coming aboard.
Excellent.
All right, I'll go up.
Yes,
and-
go right ahead.
and see
Typically only the captain and first mate are allowed up there, but we're already committing treason.
Oh, thank you.
There's not much worse we can do. Now, my friend, this is Davis.
It's just awesome. Look at that view. Okay.
Yes, did
All
you
right,
see-
yeah.
Did you notice anything different up on the quarterdeck?
Yeah, the captain is wheel is missing.
Yes, because
It falls under the whole Quaker belief of nearness and the bare minimum. A captain's wheel is a very kind of unnecessary piece of technology.
Okay.
Because with a wheel, there would be ropes wrapped around the base of it that would be attached to a tiller like that.
Yeah.
So a tiller is really all you need to steer a ship. A tiller is attached to the rudder down underneath the ship.
And that it's just fancy thing, just to put it there and then, you know.
Yes, a captain's wheel is very much a status symbol, really.
I understand. Okay. Well, I think I'm all set there, so I will head that way.
Sure, yes, you are more than welcome to continue exploring. But if you are satisfied with your work here, the last part of your journey lies just around that corner.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Make sure
Thank
you brush
you.
up any tea leaves. No physical evidence of tonight needs to survive.
You got it.
All right, thank you for all of your help, my friend. Let's get you onto safety. If you go down this way, retreat through Griffin's Wharf. Don't tell anyone you were here, and more importantly, don't tell anyone I was here.
All right. I won.
Day, sir.
Hello,
Back
sir.
to Griffin's Wharf. Now, in just a few moments, these doors will open, and you'll have your chance inside to see the last phase of the journey. For now, you're welcome to take a seat. We've been working hard for 3 hours. If you have questions about anything, feel free to let me know. There's also a few areas of interest to look at back here with the map of Boston's changing shoreline and a list of all the participants of the Boston Tea Party.
Well, that's quite a long list.
I know! We swore to secrecy for this event, and yet we have a list of all of the names, which occurs in a manner of ways. First list goes public in the 1830s. One of the last surviving participants of the Boston Tea Party lives to tell the tale, and the journalist tacks a list of 60 names at the back. The participant in question is me, George Robert Twelves Hughes. I live into my 90s, and I'm one of the only surviving participants at that point. There's about 10 in total at that point. It is now safe to openly and proudly discuss this event as one of the leading causes to the War of Independence from Britain. And then over time, families come forward, and those names get added. In some cases, they get removed. Those names have, this is kind of a piecemeal of all of that work, kind of bringing together all those family histories, as well as other sources, giving us the current list of about 174 names. Now, in total, we think there were probably 150 men actively engaged in destroying the tea. About 30 to 50 on each ship. Some of them, perhaps, were of the 1,000 to 2,000 people watching from Griffin's Wharf. Reverend John Prince, at the time a student. Reverend John Prince, just here, yes. So he becomes a minister up in Salem, Massachusetts. And while he is an old man, not unlike myself, will give an account where he was actually watching from the shoreline, from Griffin's Wharf, as we destroyed the tea. So he himself was not on the decks of the ships. And some of these other men might share that story as well. We know things about a majority of these people, but a lot of them we do not know much beyond their names, perhaps their families. That is something, hopefully, that will change over time.
Okay.
As we continue to look into their stories, more details emerge. But many of these men took the secrets to their graves. And many of them were simply ordinary working people. Some of them were more extraordinary. There were many different varieties of men down on the wharf destroying the tea.
Were there any one of them caught and executed?
No one was executed.
Okay.
But Francis Akeley reportedly is arrested on the charge. He is overheard speaking about this to a friend, and he gets turned in by a customs informer. But there's not enough evidence to hold him. So he gets released. It is truly not individual punishment that we must be concerned with, but now what Parliament may do as a result of what we did, especially if they cannot find anyone to pin it on. The doors have opened. Is the way clear, Mr. Bradley?
Clear as crystal, sir.
Excellent.
Are you all set today, my friends? Head down this way, gangway. Farewell to Tomsky.
Alright. So you said the tea is which way?
So if you want to try some of the teas, you can get them right here.
Okay.
You can get a free cup of tea with your ticket. And then on top,
I want to spend some money.
well, then you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Yes, drinks of all sorts and some snacks right over here.
Yeah.
And then you can sit down and enjoy them.
Alright.
If you get the bottomless cup of tea, and you bring it over there, Jenna, she just works right over there.
Yeah.
She will allow you to try all of the different types of tea.
Wow.
There are all 5 different types you spent just trying.
Yeah, I threw a lot. I don't know. Alright, so okay, thank you, sir.
Of course, thank you. If you have any other questions, I'll be here to answer them.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Morning, how are you today?
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Wow, that looks so delicious. Let me, Alright, I will have...
Thank you. Have a good day, too.
I love that. Morning, how are you? I will have a hot cup of tea. And I will have, what kind of... You have English breakfast?
So we want similar to that.
Oh. And I also will have apple cider. That is possible whenever you are done.
Welcome to the Boston Tea Partnerships Museum. This is where the tour ends. This is Abigail's tea room. Here you'll find refreshments, you'll find food, you'll find cookies and scones, things of that nature. You also find the 5 historic teas that were thrown overboard. All 5 are available to drink. You just pay for a tea tasting. We have them all in the back of the tea room, right over there. We walk through one, we can tell you a bit about
Thank you for visiting the Boston Tea Partnerships. We are committed to your safety. Please do your part to help keep everyone safe by wearing your face covering or mask at all times and practice social distancing. Please take care about hand sanitizing stations and always wash your hands. Thank you.
My friend.
so this is our tea tasting experience. These are the 5 teas that were on board during the Boston Tea Party. There are 2 varieties of green tea and then 3 varieties of black tea. The way that I suggest you usually try it, if you want to try them all, is start with the Singlo. It's a mild green tea. Sit, relax, enjoy. When you're ready, bring your cup back up and try the next one.
Excellent.
Sound like a plan?
Yep, that sounds like a plan.
So this is Singlo. Like I said, Singlo is a very mild green tea. Singlo was on its first venture to the colonies to be affordable to most of the people because of the Tea Act. But it ended up in Boston Harbor. But it was probably a good thing that this one ended up in Boston Harbor because it was very old surplus tea that the East India Company was trying to give to the colonies. They were like, oh, we'll send it to the colonies. They'll drink anything. Little did they know, little did we know, it was going into Boston Harbor that night.
All right, here it goes, the first one. It's very, very nice.
Very mild, right?
Yeah, very, very mild.
If you can't drink all of it, you can dump it in that and we can go to the next one.
That's what I was absolutely in participate.
Of course.
Okay.
All right. So this next one is also a green tea. This one is called Young Hyson. Hyson was the most expensive tea you could get in 1773. It was a favorite of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. It was 2.5 to 3 times more expensive than the common black tea.
I'm just gonna try. I'm not gonna say anything.
Better that way.
Yeah. No wonder George Washington drink this.
A little bit more of a fuller body.
Yeah, it is. This is another level experience today.
Yeah, definitely. You don't get to just participate and relive history, you get to taste it as well. All right, this next one's gonna be a little bit hotter because it's black tea, so just be real careful. This one is called Boohee. So Boohee was the most common black tea. This was the cheapest tea that you could get in 1773. It was 2 shillings 2 pence per pound, but it's also cheaply made. It's a lot of stems, so you get kind of a woody texture to the tea. It also can be a little bit bitter. Just again, be careful because it is hot. Most of the tea that was on board the ships during the Boston Tea Party was Boohee. 240 out of the 340 chests were Boohee. So there was approximately 84,000 pounds of Boohee aboard the 3 ships the night of the Boston Tea Party. We were drinking lots and lots of Boohee back then.
Boohee, here comes the Boohee.
Just be careful, it's gonna be hot, okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna take very small.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of lips to burn anyway.
No, you only have 2 and 1 tongue.
This, I don't know how to describe this one. It is.
I describe it as almost like a woody texture with almost a bitterness to it.
Yeah, just a little bit leafy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Okay, I won't be able to do all that because really.
I know, they're very hot too.
Yeah, they're really hot. So the next one we are
So
moving
the
to
next one is called Congee.
Congee.
This is also a black tea. This one's my favorite.
Okay.
Not that I'm an important historical figure, but
you are.
Because well, thank you. This one is actually a finer texture. It's a lot of leaves, so it's a lot smoother than the Boohee, and it would have been a more expensive black tea, but very, very good. Similar to an English breakfast tea.
Let's give it a try.
Again,
okay, I did have English breakfast tea many times with eggs in the morning. I mean, let's give it a try. This is way better than most of the teas I've been drinking as English breakfast many years.
Yeah, that one's my favorite. It's real good.
Wow.
Very smooth too.
That's awesome.
All right.
Let's
And this last one.
the last one. What an experience.
So this one,
Yeah. What is it called?
this one is called Sushang. Yeah, Sushang.
Sushang.
Yes. So it's a Chinese tea. All the tea at that point would have come from China.
Yeah.
So this one is the most divisive of all the teas. You can probably smell it now. It smells like a campfire.
Oh,
So
yes.
it's a tea that's oxidized like all black teas, but then it's smoked over pine wood, so it absorbs that smoky smell. I am told that it doesn't taste like that, but I don't really drink that one because it's very smoky.
I can tell already. It really smells like something has burnt in
Yes.
there. Some sort of. Yeah. I can't give you everything until you come here and experience for yourself. So let me give it a try.
How does
It
it
is.
taste?
It is a woody burnt wood. I will say. But it's really good. I mean, it's something. The texture, the flavor. It's something new. It's something that will, examine your taste buds, and the only way you can experience it, you'll have to try.
Well, you also have to think about 1773. So in 1773, their whole life revolves around fire and wood. They needed to heat their homes, they needed to cook their food, they needed to boil water to make it safe, they need to smoke meats to preserve them. So this is a very homey smell to them and something they're very familiar with. We are not around campfires that much or wood burning too much here, especially in the United States. So it's a little off-putting to us because it's like, oh, this is smoky.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
I'm gonna throw
But-
this. As soon as, shall I throw in there?
Yeah, if you're finished with it, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So that was very, very good. Thank you so much.
You're so
I'm gonna
very
get my
welcome.
drink.
Of course.
And what an experience.
Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad I could walk you through it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I will get my drink and then I will head away straight to that gentleman.
Okay.
And then on my way out, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Mr.
you.
Bass is a very important figure in colonial America, so he's a good person to talk to.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna get my drink. Hello, ladies.
Alright, you are Auntie 3, correct? Yeah. And are you want to try the second one or you going for black tea? Thank you for listening. For this one is Booty. Booty is the most common tea that there was in the
I have to put on my mask before I go out. So that's. All right, I think I had a wonderful experience. I enjoyed every minute of it. I want to say thank you, sir. So I will be heading outside, and the way out will be. Okay, that will be way out.
That is, sir. Yes, you're gonna follow just where those two people just went.
All right, thank you, sir.
Of course, thank
it was
you.
a pleasure.